Hello Patriots, welcome back to Survival Defense Tactics, helping you take care of yourself so others won't have to. If you get a chance, go to survivaldefensetactics.com, sign up for the newsletter at the bottom of the page. That way you can get updates every time I make a new video or add a new product to the page. There's also a blog on there as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe. That way I can keep the channel going and make sure I know what everybody's interested in seeing videos of. If you're into podcasts, go to anchor.fm, look up Survival Defense Tactics, you'll find me there as well. Today's video, short video, we're going to talk about raising chickens for meat and for eggs and whatever else. Part of being self-sufficient is being able to provide your own food. Food's very, very, very important on our list of things that we need, along with water, shelter, heat, so on and so on. If you're raising them for meat or eggs, or you're trying to find the hybrid that does both really well, I highly suggest you do all your own research, find out the breed that you know you're going to like. Buffalo Orpington is what the wife and I are going to get. We bought ours at local Atwood store. They're not Buffalo Orpingtons. We're still not sure what they are, except they make a lot of eggs. And I apologize, I keep looking away. I've got bullet points on my little notepad so I don't forget to talk about anything. First question you have to ask yourself is, how many chickens do you need? Well, we have 8 hens and 1 rooster, and we are a family of 4, me and my wife and our 2 grandsons that we're raising. If you're in it for the eggs, I can tell you right now, 8 hens, 1 rooster, you will be either selling your eggs or giving them away. And there's Reggie the Ninja Chicken. We have more than enough eggs. There's no way we're going to eat that many eggs, so we do really good with 8 hens and 1 rooster. When you figure out how many chickens you're going to need, that's going to tell you a lot about what size coop you need. I'm going to turn the camera around here in a minute and show you how I built this one. I started on my own. I got about halfway done with it, and then a brother of mine showed up, him and his wife, and they decided they was going to help me finish slamming it out so we could get it done. Thank you, Jerome and Christina. You guys are amazing. Things to keep in mind when you're building your chicken coop and where you're going to put it is it needs to be predator proof. Not all predators have 4 legs. Obviously foxes, raccoons, stray dogs, whatever, anything that can get into your coop or under your coop to get to your chickens, that's a threat. As times get crazier, and they're going to, and food sources become a little more scarce, then you have to worry about your 2-legged predators. I'm going to turn around here and kind of show you what I've done. You see the metal privacy fence behind me. If you'll notice, there's no top rail on it. If you try to climb this fence, you're going to slice yourself to ribbons, and that's what you get for trying to get in my yard. I have no sympathy for thieves. Now, I say that as in I understand what desperation does for somebody that's trying to feed their family. Well, we've taken the initiative to prepare for ourselves and have a little extra for others. That does not afford for me becoming a thief. So I'm staying up on the ante and trying to keep my family prepared. I believe everybody else has the same exact responsibility with their families. They should be preparing too. After you've figured out how many chickens you're going to want, the size of the coop you're going to need, whatever you do, please do not buy the cheapest chicken feed that you can find. You don't have to buy the most expensive either. Research all your materials. What kind of chicken feed you want, how much you're going to need per month. We buy it in the 40-pound sacks, and 1 bag of chicken feed lasts us almost 2 months. But of course we supplement them with leftover greens from the table, like lettuce and carrots and, well, basically any kind of a vegetable. They will gobble it up and they love it. If you're going to cycle your chickens out, as in when they get older and they don't lay eggs quite so much, some of the eggs you're going to want to put in an incubator so that they can reproduce a cycle of life. You'll rotate the older chickens out. Like us, they're going to wind up on the dinner table. Then your chickens take over, they become your egg layers. You keep the cycle going. Real simple. So I'm going to turn this camera around and I'm going to kind of talk you through how I did it. Almost every bit of this chicken coop is from recycled materials. I think what I have invested that I had to go purchase was maybe $150 worth at tops. So if you get the opportunity to build your chicken coop and you can do it out of recycled materials, please do so. Alright, here comes the chicken coop. My chicken coop is basically a 4x8 sheet of plywood which makes up the floor. And I'm going to open it up here in a minute and show it to you. The stand is 3 feet high. That gives chickens room to run underneath. It does have chicken wire on it all the way around. That way to kind of keep them in and keep predators out. I am going to build a run that's going to start right over here and come out and give them a lot more room to run. I made this style for the simple fact of having plenty of room for the chickens inside. And then, as you're going to see here in a second, the little mini roof is actually a lid on each side. And then I'll open up the front door and take a view from the inside. Hopefully there's enough light that you can see inside there. But it's a 4x8 sheet of plywood that makes up the floor. That's right here. Yep, we have a visitor already. They have their feed inside. I have 2 different water containers in here. They're nesting areas. And as you can see, there are already eggs ready to go. I'll collect them later. Cleaning this out needs to be made as easy as humanly possible for you. Keep your chicken coop clean, and they do a lot better for production, and it's a lot more sanitary and healthy for them as well. When I go to check my eggs, be it in the morning or in the evening, I simply go to the side, and there's no door on the back. One point of entry in, one point of entry out. If you look inside, this is basically one of their nesting boxes. Over there's one that has an egg in it. Here's one here too. I learned the hard way that heat lamp I put in here is not necessary. They don't like the heat lamp that will be coming out. And of course they're very curious. Anytime you open a lid, it's like they're trying to say, hey, is it my turn to escape? Well, be ready. They like to do that too. Each side has 2 lids, and that just makes it easier when you want to check for eggs and do any kind of cleaning and so forth. And as you can see from right over there, that happens to be where they like to go to the bathroom. Gross and disgusting, but that's part of raising animals. Yeah, we got 2 eggs on this side. The lid is just simply very easily hinged in 2 places with a handle, which I really didn't need because you can stick your hand underneath it and raise it. So the handle was kind of overkill or over-engineering, I suppose. Alright, this is their favorite place to go poo. Here's some more eggs. And then this is just a piece of rain gutter drip edge that I had laying around. I put it on there, and yes, I made it too long for a reason. It's too long on both ends. The door is hinged just like any other simple door. 2 hinges, one top, one bottom, then a latch to keep the chickens in. I have not completely predator proofed this coop, and the reason being is now I'm going to show you. Here's my house. Here's part of my privacy fence made out of metal, and it goes around, and then you can see where the chicken yard stops right here. It's made out of pallets. I've got it covered in chicken wire as well, and then the metal fencing keeps on going. So there's no top rail at all. Anybody wants to climb this, they're going to have to earn it. That's all I can tell you. They do have their own little fenced-in yard area, and as time permits, I'm going to clip their wings. It doesn't cause them any pain. It just keeps them from being able to fly, and that way they've got full range out here to roam around and scratch and peck and carry on. They are very good at aerating the soil. Over here are my dogs. During the daytime, when it's nice out and I leave the dogs out most of the day, the dogs kind of keep an eye on them. I'm sure that they're probably thinking that they'd be tasty, but the dogs can't get in here and get to them. That's the main thing. I can keep them separated. I do have a hot wire to keep the dogs from digging. When it's time to clean out the chicken coop, have a 5-gallon bucket handy. Just an old 5-gallon bucket. It don't have to be brand new. It don't have to be perfect. And you're going to scoop all their waste out and put in this bucket. If you're growing a garden, this is going to work out really good, because the hay that I put down for their bedding and the chicken poop included makes great fertilizer for the soil. Well, where we live right now, we're doing container gardening, and there they are. Containers are a great way to grow a garden, especially if you don't need, you know, acres and acres and acres of vegetable gardening. If you just need enough for you and your family, it's a perfect way of doing it. Helps keep critters out and makes it really easy to manage your garden. As you can tell, I've already been putting the chicken waste in all these tubs. I mix it up really good in amongst the potting soil and the dirt that I already have in there. These little containers, they will have stuff growing in them as well. Just have to add some more potting soil to it and get them ready to plant. Right now it's almost the end of February, so it's still too cold for us to do any planting of our own. But the moral of the story being is that you can take the chicken waste. You don't necessarily have to bag it up and put it in a dumpster per se. You can always reuse it in your garden area. The main thing I think to keep in mind, if you're going to consider chickens as a source of food for your family, be it the meat from the chickens or the eggs that they make, is shelter, protection, and then have plenty of feed and water and everything else ready to go. Chickens are like any other living thing. They require attention. You need to make sure they have food, they need to have water, they need to have shelter. Other than that, chickens are actually very, very easy to take care of. So I'm going to end this video with that. I hope this information did you some good. Do all your own research. Figure out the type of chicken coop you want to build. Maybe you just want to buy one. You can buy those at most farm supply stores, have them. And you can look online and order them, depending upon what size you need. And depending upon how big you want them, will depend upon the cost and so forth. Like I say, mine is mostly reclaimed materials, and I think I spent $150, and that was mostly between the paint and the hinges and the handles. And then I think I spend maybe $20 a month on their feed. So I feel like they're a very worthwhile investment. As always, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe. God bless.